A horse can dash at 70 kilometers every single hour. Your very old ancestor never broke 25 kilometers an hour. Just think about that massive gap between them. The swift animal explodes across the green grass. It is completely gone in mere seconds. It becomes a true blur. Your ancient great-grandfather 1,000 times over could never touch that speed. He simply does not even try to match it. He just watches it go away, and then he starts walking after it. He is definitely not running, he is just walking calmly. By sundown, that fast animal is dead, and he is not even out of breath. So how does the absolute slowest hunter on the whole savannah catch the one thing built to outrun everything? This includes outrunning him too. It sounds very obvious to us. The fast animal always gets away, except it never actually happened that way in history. For most of your bloodline's long time on this planet, speed was a total loser's game. Your ancestors won by completely refusing to play it. Scientists Dennis Bramble and Daniel Lieberman laid out the evidence in 2004. They pointed at something no other large hunter could do. It is something ordinary. You did this very thing walking to the kitchen this morning. The wild animal had sharp claws, heavy hooves, and 3 times the top speed. Your ancestor had a single advantage buried deep in his own flesh. It turned every fast, frightened, faster-than-you creature into something he could run right into the ground. Picture a gazelle the exact instant it spots him. It detonates with energy. One heartbeat it is grazing peacefully. The next heartbeat it is a streak of dust tearing across the open ground. It goes 40 kilometers an hour. The animal is climbing in speed. It is gone behind the thick scrub before he has taken 3 steps. It won the race. That is exactly what your eyes tell you, and your eyes are completely right for about a minute, because here is what that gazelle cannot do at all. It cannot cool itself down while it runs. Every 4-legged animal on that plain dumps body heat the exact same way. They do it by standing still and panting hard. They throw off warmth through a wide-open mouth, but it cannot pant while it gallops fast. The lungs and the legs are locked tightly to the same rhythm. Breath is chained to stride, so the moment it sprints, the one thing keeping it from cooking inside its own skin shuts off completely. The heat has nowhere to go. It just climbs higher. A gazelle's core temperature can spike 4.5 degrees during a hard run. That is enough to push a body past the line where it simply stops working. So, it must stop. It has to stand still. It must gasp the trapped heat back out. And the instant it stops moving, the slow thing reappears on the far horizon. He is still walking. Researchers still argue over how often this actually worked in reality, but the logic of it is very hard to outrun. The chase is not a race. It is a slow execution dressed up as one. The animal burns through its own life in furious sprints. Meanwhile, your ancestor spends almost nothing. He closes the gap. He does it one collapse at a time. Run, recover, run, recover. Except each recovery time is shorter. Each sprint becomes much hotter until the heat finally wins. The gazelle does not get caught by hands. It overheats from within. Its own engine is redlining until the body quietly powers itself down. It folds right into the tall grass. Meanwhile, the hunter walks the last few meters calmly. He finishes it with a simple stone. No claws were needed. There was no speed. It was just a creature that could not be made to stop. It was chasing one that could not keep going. But the slow walk was never the real weapon. The weapon was something much stranger. It was something happening behind the hunter's eyes the entire time. And here is where it gets truly strange. The gazelle is gone. It is over the rise. It is out of sight. No dust is left hanging in the air. By every rule of the hunt, the trail is dead. The hunter crouches low. In the dirt is a tiny scuff, no wider than your thumb. A single blade of grass is bent the wrong way. A fleck of saliva is still wet at the edge of a track. To you, it is absolutely nothing. To him, it is a death sentence. And he reads it the way you read this line right now. He reads left to right. He is certain without any effort. The animal went this way. It is getting very tiring. It is favoring the left side now. It stopped here longer than the last time. He has never seen the gazelle since it vanished out of sight. He does not need to see it. He is not chasing the actual animal. He is chasing the story the animal leaves behind in the ground. This is the real weapon, and it is not in his legs at all. It is the thing doing the reading. Long before anyone wrote a word, this happened. Long before anyone counted past 10, your ancestors were running the very first science on Earth. They were gathering signs. They were building a solid theory. They were predicting where a thing they could not see would be. They were testing it with their own feet. A wrong guess meant the trail went cold. It meant the family went hungry. So the brains that guessed right are the ones that became yours today. Underneath that brain ran a powerful engine. That engine made the whole thing possible. Your ancestor had shed almost all his thick fur. He had grown millions of tiny taps in his skin instead. Each one was weeping water to pull heat off the body. It did this as fast as the heat built up. It is the same cooling system soaking your shirt at the gym today. It runs on nothing but sweat and patience. The animal he tracked had only a gaping mouth. It had nowhere to put the rising heat. Bare skin, a million little valves, and a brain that reads the dirt like a page. The body that did this is still yours right now. But your ancestors did not stop at turning themselves into the perfect hunter. They started turning the land itself into a weapon. It was a weapon the animal could never read. But here is the part that changes absolutely everything for the hunt. Picture the herd at a dead run. 100 animals are pouring across the flat plain. They move in a river of pure muscle. And on either side of them is a low wall of stacked stone. They do not slow down for it. Walls mean nothing to a sprinting gazelle. It just runs the narrow channel between them. And the channel feels like open ground to them. It feels like escape. Except the two walls are leaning toward each other. A kilometer ahead, they almost touch, and where they meet, hidden until the very last stride, the earth drops away. It goes into a pit deeper than a man is tall. The herd does not run into a sudden trap. It runs into a trap built before any of them were born. This is where the hunt stopped being one man and a gazelle. It became something the land itself remembered. Across the deserts, things were found. Across the deserts of the Middle East, archaeologists have found more than 6,000 of these stone funnels. Some have long arms stretching for kilometers. They are scarred into the ground. They are visible only from the high sky. When researcher Remy Cressard and his team confirmed what they were in 2022, the scale of it landed hard. These were not fences. These were not pens. They were true kill machines drawn across whole valleys. They were engineered to swallow an entire herd in a single afternoon. And they are not even the oldest version. On an island off Japan, hunters dug rows of pits across a flat terrace. They drove animals over them 30,000 years ago. A slaughter floor was laid into the earth long before the last ice age had loosened its grip. Think about what that truly means for the animal. It could outrun the man. It could never outrun the ground. By the time it was sprinting down that stone corridor, the contest was already over. It was decided years earlier by people who studied how it moved. They knew where it migrated. They knew which way it bolted when afraid. They shaped the landscape around the answer. The gazelle was fast, but it was running through a world that had been quietly rebuilt to catch it. It was caught by a mind that had been reading its kind for 10,000 years. This was long before this particular animal ever drew breath. Your body does not know the herds are gone. It does not know the stone traps have crumbled away. It does not know that nothing waits to be run down anymore. It only knows the old arrangement. It knows it was built to sweat. It was built to track. It was built to keep moving long after everything else must stop. Here is what nobody talks about when they picture the caveman. They picture him as the weakling of the animal world. He was not slow because he lost the race. He was slow because he was never running the race the animal thought it was in. The gazelle overheats in the dust. The brain reads a story in the dirt. The valley is quietly reshaped into a trap. They look like three totally different things. They are one thing seen from three depths, and here is the other part nobody talks about. The animal was always playing the game it could see. It saw speed, it saw distance, it saw the next ridge. Your ancestors were playing a game it could not see at all. It was made of time and patience. It was made of the slow rearranging of the world around one certainty. It will tire before we do. So picture it one last time. An animal is at full gallop across open ground. It is faster than anything your kind ever was. Every muscle is screaming toward the horizon and freedom. And somewhere behind it, too far back to matter, a single figure is walking. He is not hurrying. He is not even watching that hard. He is just moving forward. He moves the way water moves toward the sea. The animal is running a race. It has always been running a race against the next ridge. It runs against the burn inside its own chest. Your ancestors never entered that race. They were the patients. The race was run against them, and patience in the end catches everything that runs fast. Let us think deeper about this ancient chase. The sun beats down on the dry earth. The air is thick with heat. The gazelle feels the phantom pressure behind it. It looks back, but sees nothing. Yet the fear remains. This fear drives it forward. It runs until its muscles burn. It runs until its vision blurs. But the walking man keeps coming. He does not stop for rest or water. The human body is a masterpiece of survival. Our upright posture exposes less skin to the direct sun. Our long legs act like natural pendulums. They swing forward with very little effort. We store energy in our tendons. This energy is released with every step we take. The gazelle must use brute force to move. We use gravity and mechanics. This is how the slow walker saves his precious energy. The animal's heart beats wildly. It is trying to pump blood to tired muscles. It is also trying to cool the brain, but the heat is building up too fast. The air it breathes is hot. The ground beneath its hooves is burning. Every stride takes it closer to its limit. The gazelle is trapped in a prison of its own speed. It cannot slow down because of fear. The hunter knows this cycle well. He has watched it happen many times before. He reads the signs of exhaustion in the dirt. The tracks are getting wider apart. The animal is stumbling over small rocks. It is no longer moving in a straight line. It is wandering. This means the brain is starting to fail from the heat. The end of the long chase is very near now. The ancient world was a brutal place. Survival was never guaranteed for anyone. Every meal had to be earned with sweat and blood. But our ancestors had each other. They shared the knowledge they gathered. They told stories about the animals. They passed down the maps of the dirt. This shared knowledge became our greatest superpower. It allowed us to conquer the entire planet over time. The stone funnels were a peak of this shared intelligence. They required planning. They required cooperation among many people. Tools had to be made. Heavy stones had to be moved and stacked. This was not the work of a single day. It took generations to build these massive structures. The land was altered forever. It became a permanent extension of the human mind and its hunting will. Imagine standing on the edge of that ancient pit. The dust rises in the distance. The sound of thunder fills the air. It is the sound of hundreds of hooves. The animals are running blindly. They trust their speed to save them. They do not see the walls closing in. They do not see the drop ahead. They only see the open space. Then the ground suddenly disappears. This was the reality of the prehistoric world. It was a world of deep calculation. The human mind was always looking ahead. It looked past the next day. It looked past the next season. We designed solutions before the problems even arrived. The gazelle lived only in the present moment. It reacted to immediate danger. We lived in the future. We created the danger beforehand. This same mind is what drives us today. We build complex systems. We create technology to solve our problems. We look at the stars and plan journeys. We are still the trackers of the savannah. We are still looking for patterns in the chaos. We are still reading the story of the universe. The tools have changed completely, but the core weapon remains exactly the same. Your heart rate rises when you face a challenge. Your skin sweats to keep you cool. Your brain looks for a logical path forward. You are using the ancient engine right now. It was tested on the burning grass of Africa. It was proven in the stone valleys of the Middle East. It was refined in the frozen lands of the North. You are the survivor of that long walk. Never forget the power hidden in your flesh. You come from a line of winners. They did not win by being the strongest. They did not win by being the fastest. They won by being the most patient. They won by reading the world clearly. They won by working together. The next time you feel tired, remember the walking man. He is still moving inside your own DNA. The chase is long over. The savannah has changed into cities of concrete and glass. The wild herds have vanished from the plains, but the rhythm of the walk remains. It is the steady beat of human progress. We move forward step by step. We do not hurry. We do not panic. We just keep moving toward our goals, and in the end, we will always catch what we pursue.